Happy Feminine Friday. Happy Feminine Friday. I'm talking about the 5 emotional patterns that keep you inconsistent. So, if you have been trying to lock in, if you've been trying to really get yourself together, if you've been trying to start before the new year and all these things, and you find yourself struggling, or you find yourself like hitting a wall, we're going to talk about the 5 emotional patterns that positions you to be in that space, okay? Because it's deeply rooted. And so we're going to get into it today. If you don't know who I am, my name is L. Antoinette. I am a psychological identity strategist. And what I do specifically is that I support high functioning women so that they can lead, love, and earn from emotional power instead of survival mode. A lot of women who are burnt out, they're burnt out because they're operating from survival mode. And when you're operating from survival mode, you cannot, it's almost like wearing a mask. And as we learned during the pandemic, when you try to wear a mask, after a long period of time, it begins to smother you. And so that's what happens when the women go through the space of a breakdown, they're actually being smothered. And so a lot of women will come into the age, and some of them will come, and this will happen to them at 28. Sometimes this will happen to women between 38 and like 42, where there is some sort of so-called midlife crisis. But I have to explain to women that there's no such thing as a midlife crisis. That's an initiation. And what I mean by that's an initiation is that you have a choice to make in that space. You have to make a decision and decide if you are going to keep living the life that's choking you out, or if you're going to step into the full confidence of living a life that other people are going to judge you for, other people are going to talk about you. You may lose some people in the experience. So are you prepared to do that? And I think that's what positions women to stay in experiences that drain them. So women that come to work with me, the top 3 results that women consistently get, number 1, they make more money. Number 2, they get healthier. I used to be 100 pounds heavier. Number 3, they build better relationships with the masculine, and they also build like amazing community with the feminine. And women who have relationship issues with themselves normally have relationship issues with other women, and they have relationship issues with other men, because self-care is the key fundamental of every single relationship, and you set the tone of how people treat you by the way you treat yourself, and you should treat yourself exceptionally well because you deserve that. But a lot of people don't have the perception that they deserve anything. They still have that voice from when they were children, right? And their parents used to say certain things to them, or someone that raised them said something to them that really like damaged them. And so that's become their inner voice. And because that's become their inner voice, they're guided often by that voice. They don't make moves because of that voice, and they become exhausted because of that voice. That is something I like to call programming, okay? You are programmed as a child. Because the reality of the situation is when you were a toddler, you didn't care what nobody thought. You didn't, like, when you were young, like, children are honest. Children are completely honest until we force them to start lying. And what I mean by that is a child will tell you, a kid, a 5-year-old will say, your breast stink. A 4-year-old will tell you that. But then there's somebody who will say, don't say that. And not realizing that you're teaching the child to not tell the truth when you say, hey, that is not the way that you say that. And you don't always say everything that comes to your mind. See, when you teach timing, appropriate, and setting, your children will be more honest. Not only with themselves, but with you. And these are the things that we have to pay attention to when your child tells you no for the first time. Okay? And you say, you don't tell any adult no. Timing, setting, appropriate. Okay? These are the things that we have to pay attention to when we're talking about, in a space of like making sure that children can advocate for themselves, right? And this is also something that adults who are reparenting their inner children, that is something that they also as well, okay, have to use when it comes down to reparenting, okay? Because this is extremely important. I need you to really, really, really grasp that. The reason why a lot of women struggle with inconsistency is because they're stuck in these patterns. And so I'm going to break down these patterns today, okay? But first, put a 1 in the comments so I can make sure that you hear me clearly. Because once I start hitting on these, I'm not going to repeat them. A lot of people like, can you go back? I'm not repeating them. So do me a favor and put a 1 in the comments so I can make sure that you can hear me. So should I speak on a pattern that concerns you, you're able to identify it, because it's really important that you're able to be aware so that you can take the proper action. Okay? So that's extremely important. Thank you so much. So let's go ahead and get started, okay? And this is specifically, I'm talking to women who are very much so like high functioning, like you just keep going. High functioning basically is you can do a multitude of things even in chaos. Like you can function for the most part in any scenario, or you appear to be functioning. Keyword, okay? So let's go ahead and get straight into it. I'm talking specifically to the woman who normally tells her stuff like, I know what to do, so why am I not doing it? Or thank you, my love, for these likes. Or you find yourself caught in a cycle of becoming disciplined, then you burn out, then you disappear, then you start over. That's a lot. That's what a lot of women do. They will start off very strong. This is what happens when people go to the gym in January and they decide they want to do this. So they start out very strong. New year, new me, right? That's the mindset. New year, new me. And then they get burnt out. They get burnt out either from trying to figure out what they're going to eat because they get overwhelmed. They get burnt out at the thought of them having to actually go and work out by themselves, okay? So it's a multitude of things where a person can get burnt out, once starting a process. So you start off strong, you're very disciplined, you burn out, so you disappear, you kind of stop going, and then you start over, and you keep doing that cycle over and over and over again. And put a 1 in the comments if you thought that meant that you were inconsistent. Put in the comments to you, like, if that happened to you, would you label that person inconsistent? Or if you would label that person inconsistent, put a 1 in the comments. There's no wrong answer. Because I know before I knew what I know now, I would label that person as inconsistent. I would have labeled myself as being inconsistent. I would have labeled myself as being inconsistent had I not known or had I not realized the science behind myself. And this is why I say all the time, if you want to thrive on this earth, you might want to consider following these 3 things. Okay. Number 1, you might want to know spiritual law, because that's the only way you're going to be able to create a new reality. You want to get out of the matrix of, the rat race, or you want to do this and you really want to get out here and make it happen for yourself. You're going to have to understand spiritual law. Y'all being mad at the billionaires and being mad at people who have money, these people are using spiritual law, but they're using it demonically. They're using it in a way that goes against you. And you don't know how to use it in a way that elevates you. And that's why you're so busy worrying about talking about their evil. Listen, what you have to understand is law is law. Whatever a man sows, ye shall reap. You sow evil, you're going to get evil. You're going to always be met with yourself. You're going to always meet yourself. Don't ever forget that. And it may take 20 years for you to meet yourself. It may take 20 days for you to meet yourself. It might take 20 minutes for you to meet yourself. But you're always going to meet yourself. Okay? And so this is what we really have to pay attention to, and we got to know. You have to know, okay? So when you go through the cycle of being disciplined, burning out, disappearing, and starting over, I want you to know that you're not consistent. You're not inconsistent, excuse me. That's not your issue. I know you think inconsistency is your issue. That's not your issue. Your issue is that you're unregulated, which brings me to rule, or I wouldn't want to call it rule, but number 2, the most important thing outside of knowing spiritual law, understanding the science of yourself. The biggest reason why women have issues, right, within themselves, with exhaustion, with men, and all of these things is because you do not know the science of yourself. Not knowing the science of yourself is why you don't understand the masculine. Not understanding the science of yourself is why you are expecting the masculine to act like the feminine. Okay? Not understanding the science of yourself is why you work against yourself. And working against yourself causes you to have womb issues. Working against yourself causes you to have womb issues. This is coming from someone that used to have polycystic ovarian syndrome. Isn't that something that they say you're supposed to have for your life? That's what they say. That's what they say. But see, the one thing about the body is a self-healing universe. The way the Most High designed, okay, the body, it naturally heals itself. You cut, it heals. Unless there is some form of dis-ease within the body. If you have a dis-ease, which is a lack of harmony in the body in the form of diabetes type 2, it might take a little longer for the cut on your arm to heal. Okay? Because there are issues where the organs are not able to function 100% properly so that they can speed up the healing process. It slows the healing process down when the organs are not working properly. Okay? So again, if you're going through that cycle of starting off burnout, discipline, you're burning out, you're disappearing, and then you're kind of starting over. It's not that you're inconsistent, you're really unregulated because you don't understand the science of yourself. If you are not in sync with your cycle, that's number one. You automatically imbalanced. Whether you feel it, whether you believe it or not. If you are not in sync with your cycle, you don't know how you're shifting. This is why you believe you're moody. This is why you are experiencing PMS. This is why you are having all of these issues in the area of the womb. Because you don't understand the science of yourself. And first step is knowing the 4 phases: menstrual, luteal, follicular, ovulation. Understanding each one of those phases brings forth a different energy. You've never been moody. You let people tell you that. See, that's what I'm talking about as far as programming. You let people tell you something about you to make you think that something is wrong with you because you don't understand the science of you. So this is why it's very important for you to understand the science of yourself. Number 2. Number 3 is studying the generational psychology of your lineage, specifically the women that came before you. If you are a woman, men, I don't work directly with men, but men watch my stuff all the time. So generational psychology of the lineage of the men, if you're a man. But for the women, you need to be looking at your mother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother if you can, looking at everyone to see them as doing life for the first time. This means you take your judgmental glasses off. You assess the decisions they made in the areas of love, in the areas of work, in the areas of, what would I say? Love, work, and leadership. And I want you to look at all 3 areas of those key areas when it comes to them without judgment. Find the gaps. Find the gaps and close those doors. Because a lot of women think, I'm going to school. I'm the first one to go to college and do this. And I'm the oldest daughter, so I get all this. I'm the first one in my family to go to college, check, and get my degree, right? Got a bachelor's, and first one to get a master's, check. First one to start a business, check. And I'm the oldest daughter, right? First one to hit 6 figures and make 6 figures from her own business, check. Multi 6 figures, check. So I understand. And in my mind, I'm like, I have to carry the torch on this. But what I had to realize was the true curse was not generational wealth. See, a lot of you think that, it's my job to get generational wealth. You need to make sure and assess that that's really what you're supposed to be doing, because you may be here to heal the curse or to break the curse of low self-esteem. Because if you look at the choices that your mother made, your grandmother made, your great-grandmother made, and the choices that you have made when it came down to men, find the common denominator. It's in your bloodline. And we have to pay attention to that. So when I say following these 3 things are going to support you in thriving, because guess what? If you study your generational psychology of the women that came before you, that's less trauma. That's less trauma for those who come after you. That's less trauma. That's more understanding, more clarity for you so that you can make better decisions. Okay? When you understand the science of yourself, you don't work against yourself. You don't do what society is telling you to do by working all the time, because working all the time throws a woman's body out of balance. And I just gave y'all that live the other day where I was telling you and I was showing you in neuroscience how it takes us a longer time to recover from stress. When we get hit with hard stresses, it takes us a longer time than men to come back to emotional baseline. See, this is why you can't play the games men be playing. And this is why you can't play with sorry men. Okay? This is why you can't afford to do that. Because your body does not recover from stress as fast as they do. And you need to start considering yourself the way you are trying to consistently consider them. Okay? Well, hold tight, love you. I got something for you. So the thing is, those three things are going to support you in thriving. Knowing spiritual law, understanding the science of yourself, and studying the generational psychology of your lineage. I don't know if it's going to be on there. It might be for my paid members that are on YouTube, to be honest. I don't know. So that is what's important. Because I'm going to tell y'all this too. A lot of my transferring to YouTube is going to cut down as far as like free access to it. Because I'm going to start giving more and more and more in-depth strategy for the time that we are in and where we are going. And you're going to have to invest in that. Because if you don't pay, you don't pay attention. And that's just the reality of it. So it's going to be less of that. So what I'm giving you in these sessions, because women have been able to shift their lives and do a multitude of things from my free lives, you really ain't going to get that work until you get behind closed doors with me, whether that is in the form of a class or in the form of my programs. Okay? So let me go ahead and give y'all the 5 patterns keeping you inconsistent. Thank you, love you. I appreciate that. A lot of women, like I said, they go through that cycle of, discipline, burnout, disappearing, and then like completely starting over, right? So it's extremely important that you understand that regulation is going to be key. Okay? Yes, I do. And I'll talk about that more so towards the end. Make life happen. Okay? So consistency is not necessarily a discipline problem. And this is what a lot of women basically miss. All right. It's actually more of an emotional architecture problem. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm breaking down these 5 emotional patterns that literally keep high functioning women extremely inconsistent and how you can finally break out of that. Because I'm going to tell you something that's true. Number 1, inconsistency. We are consistent beings. We are creatures of habit. We are very much so consistent. It's just that you're not being consistent in the things that you're supposed to be being consistent with. You're being consistent with things that you shouldn't be consistent with. And these are the things that we're going to address today. Thank you so much for these likes. Put a 1 in the comments for me so I can make sure that y'all hear me before I get into these patterns. Because y'all, I'm not going to repeat them. So put a 1 in the comments because I have to go and be with my family today. All right. Okay. So again, my name is Elle Antoinette. I'm a psychological identity strategist, and I help high-functioning women lead, love, and earn from emotional power instead of survival mode, which is what most women have done, which is why they are burnt out in their work. They are burnt out in their relationships. They are burnt out in their lives, okay? The top 3 results that I get from my clients is that women come to me and they make more money, not because they're working harder, baby. We work smart. We don't work hard over here. We work extremely smart, which means that we work extremely authentic, okay? Because authenticity is what attracts. Authenticity gets you in the room. Character keeps you in the room. We do both sets of work over here, okay? Because you can't keep the money if that character is not together. All right. So let's go ahead. Second result, they lose weight. They get healthier. I used to be 100 pounds heavier. Third result, they have better relationships with the masculine. So yes, they have better relationships with men. And they're also able to cultivate and sustain communities of women. Okay? A lot of y'all be having so-called relationship with men. I'm not even going to say the masculine. I'm going to say men. And then you have horrible relationships with women. How do you have horrible relationships with women when women, we reflect each other? Now, I will say this. There is a great divide that has happened amongst women that needs to be very clear. There are women who are in the space of mastery. And there are women who are untamed. I don't align with untamed women. Untamed women tend to be very insecure women, very jealous women, very shape-shifting type of women. And a woman who will shift her core in front of a man is the same one that will your throat over one. And that's something that you better not ever forget. I'm going to say that one more time. A woman who is willing to change her core and alter her core in the presence of a man for the male gaze is the same one who will your throat over one. Okay? Those type of women are extremely dangerous. And I know people are talking now about the whole, being male-centered, yada, yada. You can talk about a man and still not be male-centered. Men are a part of this reality. So talking about them is normal. They're our counterparts. The thing about what makes you male-centered is if you do things for men, such as change who you are at core for a man. You know what I'm saying? Accommodate your life for a man. That's what makes you male-centered. That means male-centered means that he has become the center of your universe. And what it really means deeper on the spiritual level, you have put him in a space to where he is an idol and he is your God. Now, women don't want to hear that, especially women who say that they are believers, but your behavior reveals what you really believe. Belief impacts biology, and biology influences the way you behave. Much like if you have a pregnancy scare, those, you were throwing up, you were sleepy, all the little, and then all of a sudden it stopped when you took the test and the test said negative. Why? Because your brain is that powerful that it will believe that this is reality, and it will actually activate things to make it seem like this is reality. So belief impacts biology, and biology influences the way you behave. So don't tell me that you're not male-centered and everything you do at your core is about someone else. Okay? It needs to be about yourself. Being male-centered, to be real with you, to be male-centered is a violation spiritually. It's a violation to you. How is it a violation to you? Because you are to love your neighbor as you love yourself. The way you love yourself should be the example. Okay? And if you are not loving yourself the way you need to love yourself, loving someone else really is void and it never works out in your favor. So you have got to prioritize and center yourself in your world. Okay? It is for your health. It is for your life. It is for your quality of life. You've got to start reading for understanding. Okay? Now, everything I teach is rooted in scripture and backed up by science. I'm a nerd, so I dissect scripture, find the science that match, do all that stuff. So I like neuroscience. I like physics. That's how I teach women to be consistent. I teach them the physics of themselves. I love chemistry. I love biology, which is the syncing of the cycle part. So I teach these things to women because this is the thing. If you know the science of yourself, can't nobody tell you about you. Can't nobody tell you about you. And nobody should be able to tell you about you. Not even down if you look good. And this is what I tell women too. Like, you shouldn't have to put on something and ask somebody else, how do I look in it? Let me tell you how you can solve that problem right now. I'm giving you 4 things. I didn't even think I was going to give you all this. But let me go ahead and give these 4 things. You don't need to be asking anybody how you look. You should know how you look. This is a part of self-awareness. So number 1, you need to know color theory. Number 2, you need to know your angles. Number 3, you need to know your face shape. Number 4, you need to know your body type. If you know those 4 things, no matter what you put on, baby, you're going to always look good. You're going to always look good. Always. And you're always going to feel radiant. You're always going to radiate. Okay? But you should not have to ask anybody that. I'm serious, okay? That's a part of the way that you see yourself. Your perception of self is off when you need somebody else to come into your experience and qualify you. Because that's what you're doing. Is this good enough to go out in? You tell me if it's good enough. Y'all all right? Because no. Thank you for being here. Now let me get into these patterns for real, okay? So, pattern number 1. And I'll say this. As I break this down, listen for the one that feels like I'm reading your diary, or listen for the one that you cry in your prayers about. Because, let's get into pattern 1. So this is the first pattern. emotional pattern that's keeping you inconsistent. Number one, a lot of nurses come to work with me too. So you definitely can come. Nurse practitioners. My clients are doctors, nurses, nurse practitioners, attorneys, spiritual women in business, VPs of companies. Yeah. Therapists. They all come to see me. So come on in. Pattern number one, the hyper responsible performer. Okay. And I'm going to describe the character or the traits of this type of woman and who struggles to be consistent with herself. Like I said, it's the hyper responsible performer. You are the one who holds everything together for everyone else, but you can't seem to consistently show up for yourself. Your system only activates under pressure. So you were the one in undergrad. I used to be like this too. You were the one in undergrad who started your paper at 10:30 because the paper was due at 11:59. And you're great under pressure, right? That's what you tell yourself. You're great under pressure. Okay. So the moment the pressure lifts, the moment you finally get that paper in, the moment at 11:58, when you finally get it in, guess what you're doing? Crashing after the fact. Collapsing. You're not even lazy though. You're dysregulated. Okay? That's some of y'all on this live. Pattern number two, the emotional sprinter. Okay? You are incredible. Okay? And I do mean incredible when it comes down to a short period of time. So let's just say, for example, you're incredible for 3 days. You're incredible for 3 weeks. Or you're incredible for 3 months. I'm talking about you get a spin going. You be in the groove. But then all of a sudden your system just completely crashes. You completely crash. It's like you have a strong run and then it's like a hit. And the reason why that happens is because you're treating your emotional energy like it's hustle energy. And let me tell you something about the word hustle. Catch this now. Don't ever refer to yourself as a hustler. Now you can. I wouldn't recommend it though. Number one is because there's power of life and death in the tongue. And if you want a whole breakdown of spells and all that, go to my YouTube. I got videos on that from last week. Okay. But if you say I'm a hustler, to hustle by definition means to swindle. To swindle means to steal. Okay. So imagine calling yourself a hustler because you went and got overtime. Or calling yourself a hustler because you've been working so hard 24/7 in your business, right? Do you understand what the hustle swindles from you? The hustle swindles your time. The hustle swindles your energy. The hustle swindles your focus, your attention. Hey, my lovey. And it also pays you cheaply. So you're not even making the type of money that you actually could make if you had the time, energy, and attention to focus on what you really were good at, what you really could make real money doing or more money doing. But no, you're focused on the small change. You're focused on the hustle. And like I said, hustle means to swindle. It means to steal. So you burn through all of your capacity trying to hustle instead of pacing yourself. You know why the tortoise? You know why the tortoise won? Because the tortoise was taking its time. The hare was, hi lovey, the hare was so confident and so cocky that the hare took a nap, I believe. Took a nap. But see, the turtle just kept on going. Just kept on going. The tortoise just kept on going. And they tell you that even when you're trying to run a marathon, you don't start off sprinting. You don't start off sprinting. You don't. You start off with a pace. It's a strategy, right? She said, first time here, your light and your aura is so beautiful, beautifully undeniable. Thank you for being, I appreciate you. All praises to the Most High. It's a pace. Life is a marathon. And let me talk to I'm 40, I'll be 42 on the Monday after next, right? And I remember being, thank you, Lovey. I remember being in my 20s, coming into 30, feeling like my whole life is like, I don't have my life together. And then I remember going into, my 30s, into my 40s, and I was like, okay, I'm finally getting the hang of this. Let me tell you something. You never really get the hang of this. You just continue to evolve. Stop focusing on achievements. Let me tell you something. Evolving, or the achievements that you think that you desire, you think that you want so much, right? The portals are open the more you evolve. You know how people say things like, don't ask the Most High for things, ask for the ability to be able to manage the things that you are asking for. It is basically saying the same thing, like you need to change your self-concept. You need to become the person who can manage XYZ. Before I became a six-figure entrepreneur, right, or business owner, and I'm a multi now, but the first 100,000 is the hardest. And I always tell people this: the first 100,000 is the hardest, not because you have to work hard. Because if you come to work with me, your system's gonna be set up. But the hardest part is showing up. The hardest part is being consistent. The hardest part is refining things. The hardest part is, keeping going. So the thing is, we have to pay attention to that. You shall know what to say. Evolution is achievement. Not everyone does it. And that's why I said in the beginning, it's a great divide amongst women. The majority of women are unmastered. And the majority of them are going to stay unmastered. Because the majority of them feel like they're going to miss out if they don't perform in the way that society has told them that they need to perform. Which is why it brings me back to the hyper-responsible performer. Acting like you got it all together. Acting like you're the supportive one that's showing up, even though it's killing you to show up. You acting. You are of no service to your friend who calls you 50 million times with her problems, and you roll your eyes as soon as you see her face on your phone, but you pick up the phone and then you have this fake joyous tone as if you were excited to talk to her. And as soon as she starts talking about the same thing that she always talks about, you rolling your eyes. You're not even present. See, what blows me about the hyper responsible performer, because I've been her, is that you will show up to everything. You will support everything and still not be mentally or emotionally present. That's what it looks like to be alone in a room full of people. You're not even there. But you showed up. You're so concerned about what other people are going to say about you if you don't show up. Performing. And see, this is where I have to break it down for the women who come, in my space, who are extremely professional. You're doctors, you're nurses, you're this, you're that, right? And then they go into work and they code switching and, you're performing, and they have so much disdain. So much disdain. I've seen it. So much disdain for a 304. So much disdain for a SMEX worker. So much disdain for women like that. But when I break it down to them that both of you are performing for pay, but only one of you is being honest about it, it gets real silent. Because if you are going to work and you are code switching, you are performing for pay, baby. If you are people pleasing, my love, your mama, you are performing for pay. The pay is her approval. See, not all pay is financial. When you are performing for that man, right? He is paying you in attention. I hope he's paying you in money. Don't get me started on that. Because some of y'all act like y'all don't like money. Y'all be giving y'all money to them, which is crazy. It's a whole nother conversation. But at the end of the day, both performing. You are not better than her. You are not better than her. And the crazy part is she's not even trying to act like she's better than you. She's just honest. And let me also say, with my doctors, my nurse practitioners, my attorneys that come to work with me, my VPs of high-level companies, SMEX workers also come to work with me. And see, they're the most honest ones. They just tell you straight up, I don't want to use my body no more to do this. What you're saying resonates with me so much. I've been asking for this. See, that's how they come. That's how they come. See, the doctors and the nurse practitioners come like, oh, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. Hey. Hey, I don't need your resume. Because what you doing here if you already got it? Why are you trying to come see me if you already have it? Okay? Thank you, Lovey. All praises to the Most High. And thank you for these follows and these likes. You got to realize all of us at some point have been performers. Tell yourself the truth so you can become free. Okay? The hyper responsible performer shows up as the one who's responsible, who's dependable, who's this and who's that. You sure know what to say, trying to convince themselves. Just get into it. Let's go back to the emotional sprinter though, okay? We talked intellectualizing, period. We have the hyper responsible performer. We have the emotional sprinter who starts off strong and then crashes because she's too busy trying to hustle. Because she's listening to the programming that's saying work against your body, work against yourself. And the body begins to break down. These are the things that we have to pay attention to. Because a lot of people who start off strong, your sprinters, they end up disappearing because they fall off. Okay? Let's talk about pattern number 3 that's holding, emotional pattern number 3 that's holding you back and keeping you in a state of inconsistency. Okay? The overthinking avoider. The overthinking avoider. Let me tell you that you don't struggle with action. I know you believe that you struggle to take action. No, baby, you struggle to start. You struggle to start, for real. And the reason why is because starting requires emotional presence. And your body associates presence with danger. So you spin, you distract, and you freeze. See, this is the ones who are in business, who started their business, who spend all day creating. You got 20 million products. You got a Google file full of products and things that you've created to be able to sell. You have not put one thing out there consistently and promoted it for 90 days. Why? But you saying you so busy. Business is so hard. Baby, money is the blood of your business. And you finna be out of here. Because you're not putting anything out. You're avoiding. You're overthinking. Can we talk about overthinking for a second? Overthinking is a spiritual violation. Get into it. For the believers in the house, they say, oh, I'm a believer, this and this and that. Overthinking is a spiritual violation. Okay? So, yeah, a lot of my clients have these issues. That's why I'm talking about it today. Yeah, I definitely. Okay, overthinking is a spiritual, and y'all do me a favor and save y'all questions because I got to get through this so I can give y'all this. I'm going to give y'all some time to, and I'm going to answer all your questions. Overthinking is a spiritual violation. It's a spiritual violation because to overthink means you're worried about something. What are you worried about as a believer? You worried about money? Is that what you're worried about? What happened to the Most High will supply all of my needs according to his riches and glory? What happened to that? Okay? What happened to that? Are you worried about illness? What happened to by his stripes I am healed? What happened to your will be done? Like, because I'm all about what you say, because you know what's best. Like, what happened? And when have you ever seen in scripture that the Most High's people being forsaken, even in the famine? When, baby love? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And thank you for the likes. And thank y'all for sharing this live and the follows. When? You are worried because you don't believe. See, this is where we got to start telling the truth. Oh, they don't like when I say this part. You are worried because you don't really believe. You have not trained your mind to believe. Even though you continue to have experiences where the Most High covers you, keeps you, things always work out, and you still got no belief, it's really it's wild work. This one little piece of hell y'all is wearing me, but it's gonna do. If it keeps sticking, I don't care no more. But you don't believe. And that's the reality of the situation. Because you don't believe, you worry. And worry is a spiritual violation. Well, how is worry a spiritual violation? Worry is a spiritual violation because it tells you in scripture to be anxious for nothing. What is anxious? What's the one? When you think of anxiousness, what do we think about?. They go hand in hand. So If we are not sitting in anxious states, we cannot have anxiety attacks. See, this is why when women come to work with me, anxiety is decreased or almost non-existent. And my track record is strong on that. That's probably the top 3 results I gave y'all is what people get consistently. My first levels of results, decreasing women's anxiety all day, to the point to where I had one client, she was bloated, having IBS because of that, didn't have it anymore when she got to working with me. See, you don't realize that IBS comes from your stress. IBS comes from your stress, sweetness. Oh, where is that? They said I need to change my diet. You can't change your diet because you don't know how to manage stress, sweetie. You don't know how to manage your emotions. Okay? Let's talk about IBS for a second. IBS, when you overthink, meaning you worry, okay? So when you worry, it weakens your spleen, okay? It weakens your spleen so bad to where the spleen can no longer work with the stomach. And next thing you know, when you go into the bathroom, you see pebbles. We don't see logs. We see pebbles. Or we hardly see anything. Or we see, a mess. Okay? We have horrible stomach cramps. Every time you eat something, it's just always something. This is why, okay? Thank you, love. This is why most women who are diagnosed with IBS usually are followed up with a diagnosis of generalized anxiety disorder. You're welcome. Thank you, my love. I appreciate that. Thank you for the gifts. That's why. Thank you for the likes. Overthinking is a spiritual violation. Most diseases, lack of harmony, because a disease means lack of harmony within the body, right? Most incidents or periods of lack of harmony in the body, there's a spiritual root. Yeah. There's a spiritual root. Because anxiety, worry, all of it. And it's also a solution, a spiritual solution. This is why my clients, I'm not a money coach. My clients make more money. I'm not a weight loss coach. My clients get healthier. My highest client has lost 80 pounds. Lowest is 20. My clients develop better relationships with the masculine. I'm not a relationship coach. What I understand is energetics. One of my modalities, is that I'm an energetic psychology practitioner, which means that I understand how emotions impact your organs. Okay? So when I tell you that your emotions can really and truly exacerbate underlying issues, that's a real thing. Yeah. Let me tell you something. There's a book called You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. Love her down, okay? Love her work down, okay? And one of the things that I noticed that she said when she talked about diabetes in the back of that book is she talked about how diabetes represented not having any sweetness left in life. Bitter to the root is normally the energy of the individual who carries the diabetes, right? And I started to assess people who had type 2 diabetes. See, because you can't manage your own stress and life is not sweet to you, and you stay in a space of victimhood because we have not taken full accountability for the parts of the experiences that we've participated in or given permission to, we eat our emotions. We stuff sugar and sweets down our throat to soothe us and give us that feeling. Huh? Because there is no sweetness in life because you hate your life, so you just eat it up. Tell me I'm lying. I really want you to look at this and look at these things. The woman who is the impulsive woman who spends money is the same impulsive woman who eats impulsively. Okay? It's the same woman who gets in the bed with the man impulsively too. How you do one thing is how you do all things, baby. Let me just let you know. You are you across the board. Okay? Thank you, my love, for these gifts, these likes, and these comments. You are you across the board, sweetness. So back to the overthinking avoider. Okay. That's the third pattern that's keeping you in a state of inconsistency. We talked about the hyper responsible performer. Always got to be there to show up for everybody but yourself. The emotional sprinter who starts off strong and then crashes because you had to hustle to get it out the mud when you really didn't have to. So let's talk about, let me give you an example of the emotional sprinter when it comes down to emotional eating. Because I used to be an emotional eater. I told you I used to be 100 pounds heavier, So in the space of the emotional sprinter, okay, who teaches or who treats their emotional energy like it's hustle energy. Let's just say you say that you're going to do 75 hard. I don't do all these challenges and all that. I live a lifestyle change, which is why I've lost 100 pounds. I do lifestyle only, but let's just say you tap into this, right? You tap into 75 hard and you say that you're going to do it. You get cute workout clothes. You do all of that. You know what I'm saying? You buy all the weights and everything from Five Below, so you don't, because you don't like going to the gym. You want to work out at home. So you got everything. You got the YouTube videos lined up, all that stuff, okay? So here we go. We start the first day. You start going hard. You working out. You doing this. You cooking meals. You doing this. You doing that, right? And you going hard for about 30 days. Well, around day 30, you're tired. You know why you're tired? Because there were no systems. See, while you were getting your gym clothes and them cute outfits and how you were getting your gym equipment and you were setting up your YouTube videos, you also should have been setting up your system so you can eat. Either you were going to put yourself on a rotating meal plan where you were going to cook every single Sunday and set up everything for yourself or you were going to do that for 2 weeks, and then the last 2 weeks you were going to save your money because you're not eating out no more, and you were going to pay somebody to do meal prep. Congratulations on that 110, girl. I know that's right. You were going to pay somebody. You can pay somebody to do meal prep. Okay. You don't have your systems together. When you get up in the morning, you're not setting, I'm working out in the morning. So at nighttime, I'm going to set out my clothes. I'm going to set out my shoes and put everything in a bag. I'm going to put it by the door. See, you don't got no systems. That's why you tired by day 30. Because you just took off on an emotional high. Your friend said she doing 75 hard, and you say you doing 75 hard too, and you ain't got no plan. Your friend got a plan, and you ain't got no plan, and you wonder why you're crashing at day 30. Emotional sprinting gonna do it every time. See, and I'm gonna be honest with you. My first 200,000 in business, right? Because I have a lot of energy. I have huge capacity because my boundaries is, you know what I'm saying? My boundaries are chef kiss. I don't even play about when it comes out of my family boundaries, okay? So I have a very high capacity to be able to get things done energetically. So for my first 200K in business, I hustled in a sense. No, I'm lying. That's not the right word. I didn't have the systems. That's what I was trying to say. So I was making money backwards, but I was losing money too. Because I was causing myself to be in a space of always showing up, always going live. And I don't know if y'all remember that time. Thank you so much, lovies. If y'all remember that time, you've been following me for a while, where it was like I was going live almost every day with the exception of Sabbath, because y'all know I don't do that. But I was going live like almost every day. I was going live, right? And I was doing this so much to where by the time I got I said, I'm tired. I can't keep going like this. I don't want to keep showing up. I don't want to keep doing this. I don't want to keep doing that. Okay. So I had to start, thank you, Lovey. I had to start implementing systems, automations. I had to get clear. I had to simplify. I had to scale. This is what gave me my time. This is what gave me my energy. This is what gave me my attention, my focus back. And this is what made me more money. And I know that people will make you feel like you got to work more to make more money. That's not true. I want to give you a mindset shift. And I've done this before. Thank y'all for the follows and the likes. I've done this before, but I want you to keep this. Anytime you say, or you feel like you want to say, or you get the urge to say, because it's power of life and death in the tongue, do not put a curse over yourself. Y'all be worrying about cuss words and y'all curse yourselves every day. Stop saying, I need to make more money. Do not say that anymore. Kill that from your vocabulary today. The minute you feel like you want to say that, what I need you to say is, I need to position myself to receive more money. That's not the same thing. When you think I need to make more money, you automatically think about what you gotta do. And thinking about what you gotta do is about to exhaust you. Because you thinking, I gotta get a second job. I gotta do this. I gotta start braiding hair. I gotta do this. Right? So because you are thinking you have to do something, you start thinking about all the things that you could do. But when you sit with yourself and you say, I need to position myself to receive more money, that means you are taking a look at what you have on the inside of you. You are taking a look at what you've been able to do and how you can maximize that. Good evening and good night. You're welcome. Stop saying you need to make more money. That's I often say a country name, but they already banned me for not banned me. They already censored me a little bit in the last video I posted talking about something. But you live in a country that's pimping you and pumping you full of programming that makes you violate yourself by working 20 million jobs and doing this and doing that. You can't sustain that. And you can let these people trick you into thinking that when the reality is you are their workhorse, but you also are you are their workhorse, but you are their workhorse because you don't know that you are the value. You don't know that you're the value. If everybody was working at a corporation and everybody decided not to go to work for that corporation, right? If everybody just decided one day they weren't going to work, okay? I think you should read the book that I was talking about earlier, You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. If nobody decided they were going to work, the company is going to lose money. Thank you, my love, for these gifts. The company's going to lose money. And if the company loses money, that's not a good thing for the company, right? So they're going to try to talk to you to say, hey, what can we do to get y'all to come back? Because they don't want to lose that money. That's how valuable you are to what they have going on. You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. Or Heal Your Life by Louise Hay, one or the other. They would be calling you to try to get y'all back. But honestly, truthfully, the reason why something like that would never work is because people are too afraid. And that's the crazy part. People are too afraid. Society has you that scared and thinking that if everybody actually made a decision to do something, that they actually can come up against you. They need you. They tricked you into believing that you need them, and that's your problem. You only need the one that created you. See, and this is why I stand on what I say when it comes down to the corporate system. The corporate system was created for people who have no spiritual practice, who are not spiritually rooted and not spiritually grounded. Because if you're spiritually rooted and you're spiritually grounded, then you'll activate Proverbs 8 and 12, which says that you have creative and witty inventions in your very being, which means that you should never, and I mean ever, be broke or even call yourself broke. How? You mean to tell me you have creative and witty inventions in your very being? You also have, thank you, my love, for these gifts and these comments. You also have the kingdom of heaven within you, according to Luke 17:21. So with all of that power, you can't get no money? And money ain't nothing but 75% cotton, 25% linen. Go look it up on Google. That $100 bill that y'all hiding under y'all bed. It's 75% cotton, 25% linen. Okay? And when the dollar crashes, because it's happening, understand that. You ain't going to be able to do nothing but wipe your tail with that paper. The real value is in you, which is why they have a working class, because you work for them. See, this is what I be talking about when I say that they use spiritual law against you because you don't know spiritual law. These are the things that you have to start paying attention to so you can come out of these patterns of being a hyper responsible performer. Okay? Being the emotional sprinter, being the overthinking avoider, and then let's go into pattern number 4. This is the one. This is the main one for a lot of you who will go in spaces and feel like you need to code switch. Help me understand code switching. What exactly do you want them not to think about you? What is it about your real tone, your real dialect, the truth that you speak the authenticity of your voice. What is it about that makes you ashamed? Who said, what is ghetto? Somebody say it's ghetto. By whose standards? What is ghetto? Explain that to me. What is that? Wanting to be high class, wanting to appear, again, performing. Performing. Which brings me to pattern number 4, the identity splitter. See, this is why y'all be losing y'all mind and having identity crisis, because you split yourself off. You're not being, you somebody else when you working. Okay? You somebody else when you at home. You somebody else with your family. Okay? I'll check it. I think, were you the one that was talking about PayPal? Let me finish this and then I'll come back to you, because I can't do anything with that except for send you an invoice. And I don't do payment plans or anything on PayPal. I don't do payment plans at all. I only offer Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay for my things, but I can send you an invoice. It's not ashamed. They block our progress when we are ourselves. Who is we? Who is they? And how are they more powerful than the one that created you? How is another creation that's not the creator more powerful than you and have more autonomy over you than you do yourself? This is why when women come to me and say things like, oh, I don't want, I want to work here, or I want to do this, but I'm fighting for us to get more money. Let me tell you what I'm never doing. I'm never fighting a corporation to make more money because I'm a woman. I'm simply going to create more money for myself because I have creative and witty inventions in my very being. And if I could come into this establishment and make you millions of dollars, because some of you go into these spaces and make these companies millions of dollars. If you can make them millions of dollars with your skill set, then why can't you make it on your own? Because you don't believe you can. So I personally don't submit to somebody got their foot on my neck, because nobody is bigger than the creator of all things. And that's what I'm rooted in. So if I'm rooted in the creator of all things, you don't have any power over me. The only power you have is over yourself. And that's why it's called self-control. Okay? So y'all hold y'all questions for me. So let's get into the identity splinter. You have 2 identities. Okay? You have the woman you say you are and the woman your nervous system believes you are. When your identity and your nervous system don't match, you self-sabotage. This is why you go into relationships, or you may perform to be able to get this man and use all the tricks and tips. See, let me tell you right now why the femininity tricks and trips are not helping you. Thank you for answering that question for me exactly in the way that I would. When you say that you're this type of woman, and you say that you're this, and you say that you're that, and then you get into this relationship, let's just say with this man, and you start to act different. Let's say you say that you're a secure woman, but if he don't text you back in an hour, he don't text you back in 2 hours, he don't text you back in 3 hours, you crying by hour number 4, and you sending text messages like, are you mad at me? Is something wrong? This and this and that. I thought you were a confident, secure woman. Now you got me in a relationship with you, or I have committed to be with you, and I find out that you are actually anxiously attached. So I don't want to be with nobody who cling to me. Men don't like clinging women. See, they like the women they like, and they'll tolerate some things. Men don't be wanting a woman up under them all the time in their space. Men enjoy freedom. So you appear to be extremely confident. You acted as if you were extremely confident. And then you turned around and revealed, your nervous system revealed that you actually are not confident. Again, you have 2 identities. The woman you say you are, and the woman your nervous system believes that you are. The nervous system that has been with you your entire life, that has been wired for either safety or chaos. Women who don't like the boringness in a relationship are women who their nervous systems are wired for chaos, which is why you chase fireworks, claiming that you want a fireplace. You say you want steady, but you chasing flame. Okay? When your nervous system and your identity don't match, you self-sabotage. You have no choice. You can't hide from the truth. Let me tell you something. I always say this. Women lie, men lie, numbers can be crunched, and data can be skewed. But your energy is always going to tell the truth, and it's always going to tell the truth on you. You can't hide that. Women think that due to women, unmastered women have inflated egos. And you think that you're so good at covering up your wounds or that you're wounded, when the truth is everybody see you. And here's the thing about men, for the most part. See, women be like, oh, he could just tell me if something was wrong. He could have just told me. They not finna tell you that. See, a man will observe you doing something and make a decision in his mind. He ain't never letting you get XYZ with him. And he will continue to deal with you because it's beneficial to him. Because it's beneficial to him. It's your responsibility to discern the scenarios that you are in. And I talked about how to discern and what your nervous system does and all this stuff on a live yesterday. You can go and check that out. You need to learn the 4 signals of your nervous system and what that looks like and how your nervous system extends outside of you. But you can go look at that video tomorrow. But you self-sabotage every experience lying the way you do. Saying that you're this type of person when you're really not the type of person. We're going to find you out, lovey. Like I said again, when identity and nervous system don't match, you will self-sabotage every single experience, every relationship, because you don't feel worthy. See, this is where the not feeling worthy comes in at. You ever figure, you want to know where that comes from? Your nervous system. See, your nervous system know the truth about you. See, your nervous system knows that when you grew up, your life was hell. Yeah, it's all cute now because you got some money now. You know what I'm saying? You went to school now. You went to therapy now. So nobody really knows the depths of what the hell was going on in your household. But what was going on in your household was extremely chaotic. So you learned to brace for the next bad thing to happen. And that's really how you live your life. So you are literally walking anxiety with a pretty face and nice mascara on and smiling. But on the inside, you are cracking. And see, the cracking is what gets revealed in your relationships when people get to actually observe and see you. They get to really, really see you. They watch you self-sabotage the experience. Because you're so used to chaos, you're going to start arguments for no reason. You're just going to do, I don't know why I do that. I do. You haven't rewired the nervous system to receive. That's why you feel really uncomfortable getting a whole big, large lock sum of money. Like, you really can't take that. You claim you want somebody to give you $1 million. What you gonna do with it? You got a plan? You got a full-fledged plan so you don't trick it off? No? See, this is what I'm saying. These are the things that you have to really pay attention to. See, that identity split is gonna always tell on you, baby. Always. Because you cannot behave like a regulated woman while living inside an unregulated identity. And I'm just telling you the truth. You can't do it. You might be the fool of some people, baby. You ain't gonna be the fool of them all. You ain't gonna be the fool of the ones who know, who actually do work and master themselves. Okay? Pattern number 5. The emotional outsourcer. Oh. See, this is the one where you're consistent when somebody's watching you, or when somebody depends on you, or when a man is involved. But when there's pressure and there's just you, oh, you collapse. You collapse. That's because your emotional authority is external and not internal. This is the one who loves everybody else so much and does so much for everybody, but nobody seems to do anything back to you. You're really doing that stuff so you're outputting so they can input. These are patterns that I have noticed in the work that I do. But these are emotional patterns that block consistency. And these patterns are rooted, most of them, back to childhood. So when you are an emotional outsourcer, that means, I think you guys have heard me talk about this before. Women who consistently attract narcissistic men do this because they don't recognize the narcissist within themselves. And let me explain. The narcissist and the victim sit on the same frequency. They sit on the same vibrational state. They are sitting there, which makes it a frequency because it is their consistent state, right? So the narcissistic person outsources power, which is why they need a supply, which is why they need other people, okay? So once they get you, they now have a new power source. The reason why they need power sources is because they believe that they are powerless, okay? They believe internally that they are powerless, and the only way for them to be powerful is to have power and to outsource the power of somebody else. So let's go to the victim. And why is the victim sitting on the same frequency as the narcissistic person that they claim they hate, they're tired of attracting, yada, yada, yada? Because you're an emotional outsourcer. You are outsourcing love. See, you're hoping if you do all these things for people that people are going to love you back. People are going to reflect the love that you give out. So you give, 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 give. No threshold. Give, 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 give. No boundaries. Give, 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 give. No standards. And when you have nothing left, you want to cry and talk about how everyone takes everything from you. But you were outputting in order for people to input. When you are responsible for inputting and then you output, beloved, then you output. Thank you, my love, for these gifts. I mean, these likes and these follows. Then you output. You're doing it backwards. So because you are trying to outsource power, because love is a power source, and because the narcissist is trying to outsource power from an individual because it believes that it is powerless, you sit on. You are one another. That's why you keep attracting them. And it is until you change the input, the output is going to remain the same. Okay? That's the emotional outsourcer. That's when I say you consistent with somebody watching. You consistent with somebody depend on you. You consistent when a man is involved. But when it's just you, baby, crickets. Thank you, my love, for these follows. And like I said, that's because your emotional authority is external and not internal. And it should be internal. Okay? Thank you, lovey, for these gifts. So here's what I need you to understand about everything that I'm saying, okay? Here's what most women never realize. Thank you, my love, for these gifts. I truly appreciate them. These emotional patterns are not random. They're not random. They come from your emotional architecture. And your emotional architecture is built from childhood on down. Okay? Thank you, my love, for these gifts. So let's talk about what your architecture decides for you. Your architecture, you can't read about it anywhere else, baby. This is my work. The only way you can get it is to get behind closed doors and work with me. It's my work. I teach frameworks for a living. That's why I'm so good at what I do. Your architecture decides your consistency. Your architecture decides your emotional stability. Your architecture decides your relationship. Your architecture decides your self-leadership. Your architecture decides your decision making. Your architecture decides your patterns, your sabotage, your progress, which is why this is why discipline can't fix your inconsistency. This is why motivation can't fix your inconsistency. And this is why all these new planners that you like to get can't fix your consistency. Only regulation and architecture can fix inconsistency, baby. You need a reset. You need a reset, lovey. And I'm not talking about no detox. You need a real life reset. Okay? So, let me support you on your journey one way. Now, this is a gift that I'm going to give you. Okay? This is a gift. And this gift is fire. Some of y'all got it yesterday because I just dropped it yesterday. I'm going to talk about the feminine architecture diagnostic. Okay? I've created a diagnostic. I've created an assessment. Okay? And I have the assessment in a AI bot, in a GPT that I created, okay, that literally will show you exactly which internal system is keeping you stuck in less than 10 minutes. I have sent this out to test to former clients. I have sent this out to test to some of my closest friends. And they are like, ma'am, I don't know if I want to slap you, hug you, or cry because of how accurate this thing is. I was like, girl, I know. But let me go ahead and tell you a little bit more about it. It's called the Feminine Architecture Diagnostic. It reveals 3 of your core systems, okay? It reveals your magnetic bonding vetting. It is going to tell you why you attract certain men, or excuse me, why you attach to certain men, why anxiety feels like chemistry, and why secure feels like boring. It's also going to give you in the second section, which is the FMV, which is for feminine magnetism value. It's going to let you know about your emotional safety, your ability to receive, and your internal regulation. The third part of this quiz is, or this diagnostic, excuse me, is going to tell you about your magnetic presence value. This is going to speak to your identity, your leadership frequency, and your emotional authority. This is what you're going to receive. You're going to receive, oh, excuse me, I just hit the button. You're going to receive your architecture score, your emotional regulation profile, your attraction and consistency patterns, your feminine magnetism blocks, your self-trust baseline, okay, and your recommended path to come and work with me if you want to fix it. Okay, so it's gonna show you you. Now I'm gonna tell you before you go in there, be like, oh yeah, I like that. It sound good. If you're not ready to see you for real, don't get up. Don't sign up and get that. And also, when you sign up to get it, if you sign up to get it, check your spam box. Y'all don't DM me talking about y'all didn't get it now. Check your spam first, okay? But let me tell you something. If you don't want to know about you, if you're not ready to face why you attract and why you attach to men a certain kind of way in certain time, if you're not ready to really know the truth, don't pull that up because you're going to be mad. You're going to be mad or sad, okay? So it's extremely important and vital that you go and tap into that. Will it tell me why I can't break free and repeat? It'll tell you the cycles that you're repeating and your vulnerabilities, and it'll make a recommendation of you either coming into the love and the nervous system class, which is 111 right now for Black Friday. It's going to 222 on Monday. So if you want to go and get it, that's going to talk specific. If you get love in the nervous system, you got attachment issues. If you have attachment issues, it's because you struggle to detach. That's going to teach you how to detach. That's going to teach you how to discern. That's going to get you right, love in the nervous system. So you can skip it. You can take the quiz, or you can get love in the nervous system and still take the quiz. Or you can take the quiz and let it tell you you have love in the nervous system, or if you need emotional foundations, and then you can go and get that. But if your specific issue is centered around men and you're having issues in that area and consistently having issues in that area, then love in the nervous system is going to be the one for you. Love in the nervous system was so good. I had it in a bundle, but people talked about it so much. I was like, I've been saying I'm gonna keep it as a standalone. So I made it a standalone. You get a workbook. You get scripts. You know what to do. You know what to do. Let me tell you something. If you struggle wasting time with a man, love and nervous system is going to help you stop doing it. Okay? It's going to help you stop doing it. It's going to help you stop wasting time. It will literally show you I got stuff in there, within 30 days, you're going to know what time it is. But see, this is the thing though. You really need to have and operate in the spiritual fruit of self-control. Because I don't understand why women can't hold their cat. That's really confusing to me. But you need to be able to hold your cat. Seriously. Hold that. Work the process, especially at least allow this person to show you who they are before you just go, like, what's going on? And I already talked about how, girl, don't even get me started. I just go check out that TikTok video about how because somebody asked me specifically, do I believe that you can inherit someone's karma or someone's favor? And I had to tell them, one, I don't believe in karma, because in order to believe in karma, that means that you live by dharma. And see, a lot of y'all don't realize that this person get karma. If you're not living by dharma, then you can't say anything really about karma. So I don't believe in karma, right? Because I don't submit to dharma. However, you can inherit the curses and blessings of someone else by doing certain things. SMEX is a blood covenant. So you inherit the blessings and curses from covenants. Marriage is a covenant. There are oath covenants. Business partnerships are covenants, right? That is how you inherit the blessings and the curses. Let's say you do business with somebody who has a horrible reputation. Guess what happens? Guilty by association. Bad company corrupts good morals. People are going to look at you, right? If you're in association with them. So again, covenant. When you sleep with somebody, you're entering into covenant, a binding agreement, which means you're picking up what they put down. And a lot of y'all be wondering why y'all crazy. That's because y'all be practicing blood magic. Because let's get into it. And you be wondering why you be losing your mind, okay? You can click the link in the bio to get the quiz. So if you need love in the nervous system because you can't get yourself together with that, I get it and I understand. That's going to help you. Now, some of you are going to need foundations. Foundations is how to get back to your bloodline. I mean, not your bloodline, how to get back to your baseline, your emotional baseline. It's a reset. So when you take the quiz, it's going to tell you if you need love in the nervous system. After it gives you all the information I just told you, it's going to tell you if you need foundations, which foundations is going to become accessible on December 1. Foundations is a 6-module that's going to get you right. I'm going to tell you. So let me see how I can break down. I'm going to tell you real quick what's going to happen in foundations. So you'll know, because y'all know what the quiz is. So in foundations, let me scroll down because I put it down here. Or did I? Did I forget? Hold on. I think I took it down. But you can there's a link in the bio where you'll be able to look at foundations. If you end up getting foundations. So it's gonna either put you to Love in the Nervous System Foundations or the Muse Activator. Okay. You can. Yeah, I would recommend you taking the quiz first. And then from there, it's gonna give you a link, and copy the link and paste it, and then you can just purchase the product. It's gonna take you to the product. You can read up more about it. Okay, you can do all of this stuff. So if you get love in the nervous system, like if you keep wondering why you keep attracting the same type of situations, why you lose momentum, why you can't stay consistent, why you shut down when you actually care, why does consistency feel impossible, your architecture is what holds the answer. Go ahead and take that quiz. Click the link in the bio and take that diagnostic, okay? So you can know for yourself. Even if you don't even choose to come and work with me, at least take that, because it's a gift. And I don't know how long I'm gonna keep that. So I was, yeah. That's gonna get you right in that space. Now, okay, I found it. The Emotional Foundations program. She said, I know something is resonating with me because I got defensive with code switching. I used to get defensive with code switching too, because I was taught to code switch. Then I had to come up out of it. I made more money when I came up out of it. That's the thing. I made more money when I came out of that. So now for the woman who's heard these patterns and she said, I'm ready to fix it right now, then foundations may work for you, but still take the quiz just to be sure. So the emotional baseline reset for high functioning women is called Emotional Foundations. And here's what it does. So it regulates your nervous system. It clears emotional and mental fog. It restores your consistency. It rebuilds emotional authority. It re-anchors your identity, which is very important. It converts survival mode into self-leadership. It creates internal stability and prepares you if you're wanting to come and work with me in my 8-week program, the Muse Activator. It's perfect for women who feel overwhelmed, who shut down under pressure, who feel off or feel scattered, who can't stay consistent, who are now emotionally overstimulated, who want stability right now. If you want stability right now, it's for you. If you want to do deeper work later, then definitely come into Foundations. Foundations price point right now is $197. It is going to be $297 after Monday. Yeah, after Monday. So those are the price points, $111 and $197. That is going to shift and change to $222 and $297. So if you want it, I definitely would get it now. But click the link in the bio to see and to get access to the quiz or to diagnostic to see which is the better path for you. And you want to go the path that the diagnostic is telling you. Okay. Do you have something that stops emotional eating? The Emotions Foundation will support you in that. Foundations will support you in that, because you got to get a hold of your emotions. You have to put yourself back to your emotional baseline. Okay. Thank you, my love. Code switching is changing your voice to appease others in order to appear a certain kind of way. Foundations currently is $197. It is going to be $297 after Monday. Okay. It's pre-recorded. It is pre-recorded. The Loving the Nervous System class is 90 minutes. The Emotional Foundations is 6 modules. Okay. So you have actual modules that you're going through, and each module comes with worksheets and work. I do very, I, some people sell, like for example, McDonald's sells family, right? Nike sells like endurance, right? When you really think about it, you think Nike sells shoes. Amazon used to sell convenience, like those are the things. And I saw a poster talking about those things. What I sell is transformation. Okay. When women are ready to transform their lives, they come to me for the deep work because I do the deep work. I have, like I said, therapists that come to work with me. I have women who have been in therapy and working with me. I have women who have left their therapist because they felt like they were getting more progress working with me. We get to the root of the issue here. And the reason why I'm comfortable doing that is because I've had to get to the root of the issue in my life. Like I said, I used to be 100 pounds heavier. I used to work 3 jobs. I was working at MAC. I was working in child protective services. I had a booming bridal business. I was hella overweight and sick and going bald in the center of my head because my hormones were off. I was so hormonally imbalanced. In 2017, my best friend died. I had a spiritual awakening. Boom, shift my entire life. Okay, so everything shifted and changed after that experience. And coming into that space and doing the deep work and having to face myself, or having what do some people call it, the dark night of the soul. I've had, in my 42 years of living, I've had 3 ego deaths, and a spiritual awakening. So my experience has not been for the faint heart, which is why I'm able to walk with women through their journey, through these processes. And one of the things that I know for sure that's vital is that emotional authority and emotional authority. If your problem is hormonal imbalance, then Kim, I have something different from you, but I ain't gonna lie to you, it costs more than the other ones. If hormonal imbalance is your thing, then you need the physics of rhythm. And I took the physics of rhythm off for nobody to see. But it is the formula that puts you back in harmony with your body, because it teaches you about your circadian rhythm clock, your sun clock. It teaches you about your moon clock, which is your lunar clock, which is your cycle clock, where I break down all the phases of your cycle. I give you what it is that you need to be eating, what's happening during those periods and those times. It was a young lady who was on yesterday who was talking about she's 3 months into her cycle reset. I'm trying, what my phone? Hold on. Well, I don't think I got no storage on my iPad because but I remember her saying yesterday she has no more brain fog. She has a lot more energy. She has all of that. Now here's my thing with that, y'all. I'm gonna tell you just straight up. If I send you this link for the physics of the the rhythm of, I can't even think right now. The basically feminine physics. If I send you this feminine physics, the link is going to expire. If you don't click on it and take care of it then and there, it's gonna expire, because the price point on that is $444, and you can get it with Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay. Okay, so if you want that link, I'm telling you how much it is now. It's $444. It's only going to be available when you click the link, because once you open it, you click it, and you read everything, you don't do anything with it, it's not going to work anymore after today. Okay, so I want you to be very clear on that. So if you want it, you can DM me and say cycle, and I will send it to you with absolutely no problem. Okay, and I want to say, in the physics of rhythm, is there a bonus in there? I don't think Harmony and 6 is in there. No, Harmony and 6 is not in there, but you get the physics of rhythm. You get the physics of follow through, and then you also get the rhythmic woman, which teaches you about the sun clock, the moon clock, how to eat according to that, what that looks like, what your energy is going to be, all those different things. Okay, I have a few things hormonal. Oh yeah, well Kim, yeah, send me that, and I'll go ahead and. In fact, I'll do this. I'm going to. Let me see. I don't know if I can do that. Hold on. Because sometimes it'll let me. Okay. So with the physics of rhythm, is this the right one? Hold on. So the physics of rhythm, the way I can do it is looking like I might be able to do it. I can put it up there. I can click it. It'll be up there for an hour. So if you want it, y'all got an hour to get it because let me see. Okay. When you scroll down, it's on there now. When you scroll down on the link in my bio, past the YouTube video, you're going to see the assessment. You're going to see love in the nervous system. You're going to then see the physics of rhythm in the third spot. It's only going to be there for an hour. So if you want that, definitely go ahead, click the link over there so you can get access to it. It's $444. You can get a recliner form Afterpay. And Kim, because I'm opening it back up, what I will do as well, I will send you a link so we can have a one-on-one too. So for those of you who get the physics of rhythm today, I'll have a one-on-one with you to make sure. Okay? So I have a one-on-one with you. Okay, love. That works. That works. So, all right. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? So, yeah, for those of you who get the physics of rhythm, if you get it today, it will come with a one-on-one because I'm actually going to put that, I'm going to take that and put it in the Muse Activator and a part of the Muse Activator because the Muse Activator is being revamped. That's my 8-week program that I have for my clients. So, but yeah. Any other questions? Yeah, Kim, we got to get you regulated working night and day. Yes. Have you mentored individuals who've had 2 or all of these blockages? Yes. Yep. My homegirl was sent me a message yesterday and was telling me, just thank you for the work I do. She does amazing work in the womb healing space. And she was just saying how she was like, I always tell people all the time, if you got blocks, you need to go see Elle. You need to go see Elle. Because yeah. Just come see me. You click the link in the bio to get access to the quiz. To the diagnostic. It's called the Feminine Architecture Diagnostic. And it is there once you sign up and you get it. Thank you, Lovey. Check your spam if you're not seeing it. Okay. Like I said, for those who want to DM me, I can send a link and the link is gonna work for the rest of the day. And then for those of you who can click the link and get it from here, you can click the link to be able to get it here. I'm also going to say, last thing I'm going to say is this. My free lives are great. They're amazing. But I'm telling you, you're not going to be able to master yourself. You're not going to be able to master yourself until you get behind closed doors and you actually get to work in with me. Okay. Until you actually get to work with me. So if that is the space that you are coming into, welcome. Congratulations to the women who have been in this space. I'm excited. I have got to go because I'm going to spend time with my family. My 6-week course, I have you talking about foundations or you talking about my 8-week program? I can't explain I don't have time to explain my 8-week program. I got to go kick it with my family. But it is up there. It's right after the feminine, right after the physics of rhythm. Sarai just came in here, actually, who you see, Sarai, Elizabeth, she goes by Eli. She actually just graduated from the Muse Activator program. No, my Substack is for those who like deep transformation in the form of reading. You can go over there and become a paid member of my Substack. You can be a free member or you can be a paid member. Free member is going to give you some awareness. Paid member is going to give you real strategy. Paid member is $222 a year or $22 a month. And you can go and sign up for it. And if you're interested in more information on the Muse Activator, then you can actually go and read about Sarai's transformation in the actual program. Because I wrote an article about it earlier this week where I talked about her journey, and it is a beautiful journey. Makes me really excited every time I think about it. I'm just really excited about the great things that she's going to do and that she is doing. I absolutely adore my clients. Adore. Because I adore women who face themselves. I adore women who aren't afraid to do the work. I adore those women, right? I'm not seeing it. The link just takes me to an email access to your private group. I'm confused. What are you clicking? Wait, what are you clicking? Because I'm confused. Hold on, let me pull my link up in my bio. The feminine. I saw the same page. Just skip it. Hold on. For the, y'all talking about for the diagnostic? Which link y'all talking about? Because I'm confused.